welcome to this ET Now special. I'm Nentara Rai. Today, I'm coming to you from Auto Expo 2018 in the national capital. It is Asia's largest motor show, and every leading manufacturer, Indian or global, has a stall here showcasing their new products. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through the big launches. We'll tell you about Motown's expectations from 2018. We've got it all covered, from SUVs to compact cars to electric vehicles. The country's largest automaker, Maruti Suzuki, kicked off Auto Expo 2018 with what's behind me. This is the Future Concept S. It's the future of Maruti. It looks like an SUV, but trust me, it's not. It's like, you can call it a micro SUV. It's compact. It also looks a lot like the Brezza, and there's already talk of it replacing the fast-selling Maruti Alto.
Indian customer is quickly changing and also demanding. We have to take care of those kind of expectations, that requirement. That this is a new approach we have provided to the new customer. Is it okay or more exciting, or we have to improve some point? We would directly expecting some feedback from them. And then we try to implement the practical production model through that response.
So, with this car is looking at the kind of Alto Plus or WagonR Celerio segment. Could we see you expanding it to cars even beyond, above the Vitara Brezza? I mean, what is the strategy on having SUVs right now?
We provided this car concept that, in a sense, about the small segment, Alto, WagonR level or something like that. We provided a small car segment, this kind of new approach. Little bit, height a little bit higher, and then ground clearance a little bit higher. Also, looks like SUV. If we can, ideally, we provided, those kind of concept vehicle to market in future.
And do you think you moved away from the crossover segment? Because very frankly, the S-Cross hasn't really been a big success. And even the Ignis, you've got numbers, but you wanted more. Do you think the Indian market is not ready for crossovers, and that's one of the reasons you're focusing more on a traditional SUV with a upright stance, high bonnet, all that?
I think that in case about crossover, it is not easy understanding to the customer. We have to more closely approach, which is pointed at different from other type of model. Those kind of communication could be more necessary. That's why we try to approach the customer more and more to recognize the good point about those kind of segment vehicle.
So you think an SUV is a safer segment than a crossover right now?
No, because a lot of people expecting various SUV. That's why if we can provide some small segment SUV, that could be very exciting for the customer.
And don't you think this will cannibalize some of your existing products? You've got the WagonR, you've got Celerio, you've got even the Alto. Don't you think this would cannibalize it? How would it be positioned?
I don't think so. That we can develop a new area through new concept vehicle, new type vehicle. We are expecting furthermore expanding our customer.
So, to talk very frankly, is this your response to the Renault Kwid in some ways?
I don't think so. We try to propose and accumulated our knowledge at marketing research, etc. That's why we provided this kind of concept vehicle.
And Ayukawa-san, moving to new technologies, obviously there's electric vehicles. Everyone is talking about that. You said you're going to, in 2020, you're going to, have one on the road. But what are the challenges? Is cost still going to be a major issue for you?
That's true. In case of electric vehicle, we have a lot of concern point. We have to one by one fix by launching a vehicle. That is true. And everybody, not only us, but also every concerned people, government, including government, industry, component industry, we have to collaborate all and then to find a good solution in order to develop the electric vehicle in the market.
As electric vehicle is concerned, we want to participate in that. We are doing a study on what the customer is looking for, what kind of infrastructure needs to be set up. And I think basis that we have already announced that 2020 will have our first EV.
So how do you think it will impact jobs going forward for Maruti?
I think it's a step where you are going to see an ecosystem which is going to develop, where you are going to have IC engines with hybrid technology, also with electric vehicles also coming up. The market is going to grow.
Maruti is known to be India's largest car maker. So what is your strategy going forward?
Our intent is that we should be present everywhere, and our customers, they get the cars right at their doorstep. So we have expanded our network in a big way. Introduction of Nexa network, as well as upgradation of our existing network into Arena. These are focused at giving customers a great experience.
I'm now at the Tata Motors Pavilion. This is one of the biggest pavilions you will see at the Auto Expo. Besides a whole range of passenger cars, what you see behind me is a whole range of the commercial vehicles being showcased by Tata Motors. In fact, Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran I caught him there while he was taking a look at all of the commercial vehicles. We'll play you that exclusive soundbite. We at ET Now are the only ones to have it. But what I can also tell you is that Tata Motors has announced a big splash into electric vehicles. While it's not looking at a dedicated platform for electrification, that's clearly the road Tata Motors wants to go down on. It's also very interesting that it's looking at a big play at rural India. That's what I quizzed Tata Motors CEO on, and he did concede there is a product pipeline that is under development.
I think we have already demonstrated in the last 2 quarters that we even would like to turn the current fiscal year 17-18 into a better year. We have just presented beginning of the week the 3rd quarter results, and I think we have...
Which disappointed the street a tad bit.
I think turnaround of Tata Motors standalone didn't disappoint. I think we have exceeded the expectations, being after 5 quarters positive. And demonstrating year-over-year, quarter-over-quarter, 1,400 crore of improvement. I think it's a very impressive demonstration how serious we have taken the turnaround and how effectively we have covered all 3 angles of attack, really bringing new exciting products to the market, ramping up the capacity much faster, also on the back of the acceptance of the SCR technology, strictly and rigorously reducing the cost across all categories and on the product cost level, and finally to bring lots of market activation, enhancing our sales numbers.
I think what might have disappointed the street would have been the Jaguar Land Rover performance, which you guys have blamed on Brexit.
Let's not talk about Jaguar Land Rover right now, because you are here at Tata Motors India, and let's enjoy the moment of being here at the Expo.
So tell me something, how important is the Expo? Are you displaying products that could perhaps be a game changer for Tata Motors?
The Expo is critically important to us because that's the only large show in India, and since we are the largest Indian player that covers the full range of products from the passenger vehicles on entry level all the way to the largest heavy duty trucks with 49 tons on passenger vehicles, equally strong as we are on cargo and people mass transport. This is the platform, as we have seen, which we leverage to really let the world know what our product portfolio is, and this year in particular important to actually put our products in a different context, talking about smart mobility in the context of smart cities, as it is one of the big issues and one of the big big trends which the government has put on its
The government also wants
list.
electric vehicles, saying by 2030. Is that possible? Do you think it's a realistic target? I'll tell you another way. For example, we had the global chief of BP saying he doesn't see electric vehicles becoming, on the road so fast by 2030. Petrol and diesel cars are still going to rule the roost, and therefore Nitin Gadkari's dreams of bulldozing petrol and diesel cars may not happen.
I mentioned it yesterday already, and I was well quoted today in different print media and also online. It's an extremely challenging target. What we do appreciate at Tata Motors is the vision of the government as such. Because even if we might be short in 2030 by some percentage points, to have such kind of vision today, to create a single focused mindset on electrification, which is a much larger game, than just selling vehicles, because it also goes into the infrastructure and building an ecosystem for electrification. We need this vision. We need to translate it into a robust policy framework, and we need to make sure that we as an industry and the larger industry, the private sector, is actually going to move towards this vision with appropriate actions in order to bring as soon as possible the infrastructure to actually provide the right number of volume to provide scale, because our industry as such is a scale industry. And with electrification, it's even more a scale industry, because the economies are going to determine how attractive the product and the service offerings can be for the customers. That we are going to get into the market by very strongly playing the fleet business in the first instance. And then developing the infrastructure in order to also create sufficient attractive product and service propositions for the private purchase, for the private customer, is, I think, an opportunity, creating an initial volume, but then actually spreading the wings of electrification across all the products and beyond fleets, also in the private sale business.
Are you impressed, Mr. Chandra?
Huh?
Are you impressed with what all you see?
Am I?
Impressed? With
Very impressed.
Impressed?
Extremely
What
impressed.
impressed you the most, sir?
I think the range of products and the foray into electric and the new platforms that we are launching, both in CV and PV, as well as EV. I think, and more importantly, the energy level and the excitement of the team.
And guess who I spotted here at the Tata Motors Pavilion? None other than Anand Mahindra. Clearly the top boss of M&M checking out competition, but he also saw a lot of camaraderie between Tata Motors as well as Anand Mahindra. In fact, Anand Mahindra interacted with the top brass of Tata Motors, and I recorded that on-record conversation on my cell phone. Would Anand Mahindra buy a car that's not a Mahindra? Which is the Tata Motors vehicle that impressed him the most? Here's that video.
Unfortunately, I've never bought any car apart from a Mahindra. You know what it's like when you are in a car company, you are simultaneously rich and poor at the same time. You're poor because you never get to taste any other competitors' cars. You're rich because you're driving something which has your name on it.
Which was your favorite vehicle at the Tata Motors Pavilion?
Oh God, that's like Sophie's Choice, asking me which child is a favorite. I never answer questions like that because somebody's going to get upset with my answer. I would just say, in general, I was very impressed with the quality of the work, with the kind of conceptualization, with the new vocabulary and grammar of design. So everyone is always rooting for Tata Motors to succeed.
Shifting gears to the hyper-competitive two-wheeler space. Once again, all the two-wheeler manufacturers are focusing on the entry-level bikes. That's the clear theme here at the Auto Expo. But what's very interesting is that none of them actually displayed or showcased an electric vehicle. So are they dismissing Nitin Gadkari's comments on how petrol and diesel vehicles are going to be bulldozed? Having said that, you've also seen Hero actually come out with a bike for adventure enthusiasts, and you've seen TVS come out with a bike that works on ethanol. So that's just part of going green.
Scooter is the growing market of today, and Hero does not have a good enough market share according to me with the current range of scooters. So from the 110 scooters, we've now upgraded both our scooters, Maestro Edge and Duet, to 125cc, and I'm very confident that we get much bigger market shares now.
So taking that thought forward, what market share are you looking at in the entry-level segment, sir, with the coming in of these scooters?
No, I'm not talking of the entry-level segment, but we are definitely looking at 20% plus market shares going forward.
Right. So were you disappointed that EVs was something that was not touched upon in the budget? So what policy will EV in the EV space will Hero come up with in the upcoming future, in the fiscal year or otherwise, sir?
Before that, I don't want to miss out on talking about the two motorcycles we've launched recently, the Extreme 200R on the 30th of January, and now today the X-Pulse right behind us here, which is an adventure bike, first in its space. With these two, we are making a big entry and showing a big intent in the premium segment where we have a very small market share currently. And with these and going forward with our focus on the premium segment, we are definitely going to make a big mark in the premium segment market too.
So Make in India is something that a lot of automakers are talking about now. Do you think that the increase in import duty is enough to incentivize Make in India, or is there something else that as a private player you're looking at, sir?
Well, if we talk about ourselves, we've had already had a huge focus on Make in India. Majority of our production is here in India. We only recently launched 2 factories outside of India, one in Colombia, one in Bangladesh, which need to serve some of the markets around those countries there because of the logistics advantage, because of the import duty restrictions, etc. But there is a huge focus from us on Make in India, and for sure the government is trying its best to encourage Make in India. I'm not sure if just the duty restriction is going to really give a huge impetus. It will help for sure.
Right. So it was a rural budget, the budget that has passed. What kind of rural demand has Hero MotoCorp seen, sir, and what do we have in the pipeline in that front, sir?
Hero has a huge focus on the rural markets. Almost 50% of our sales happen in the rural markets. For us at Hero, this is a very good budget. There definitely is already an improvement in the sentiment, and going forward, once the money comes into hands of the rural consumers, we will definitely see an uptake in the rural markets.
Sir, final question, if you can share a little bit about Hero's scrappage policy with us and how we can see that panning out in the upcoming scrappage policy, sir.
Well, right now, what is happening is Hero's products are not so very old, and the way the bikes change hands here every 3 to 5 years, there's a new buyer buying that product. Having said that, we are putting together a scrappage policy because we don't want old products to be giving out emissions which are not as per today's norms.
So when can we see that coming into action?
Very soon.
I think we are seeing some stability in the market, and the budget, we are confident that it will do well in the rural market. Monsoon also has been really good this year. So all these factors put together, I think we see the market stabilizing, and rural will come back this year.
As far as competing with your competitors is concerned, do you feel you'll be able to bridge the gap with Bajaj and Hero Moto as far as launch of your new products and also the sales of your existing products is concerned?
We don't look at competitors. Competitors is only reference, and we respect them. They have their strategy and they will continue to do whatever right for them. TVS, we have our strategy of focusing on the customers and connecting with the customers. And we have grown much faster than the industry if you look at the last 4 years.
There has been a focus from the government side, from ministers too, there has been a focus on electric vehicles. Do you feel with such kind of an impetus being given from the government side, petrol and diesel versions are going to have a backseat, and are you looking at alternatives to boost your sales?
We are definitely invested, we have definitely invested in the areas of electric, and alternate fuels are also going to be order of the day. So you will see more of electric, hybrid, or even products like ethanol coming up in a big way in the future.
Talking about the other 2 products, Creon and the other product, of course, which are still in ideation stages, what more incorporations do you feel required to be made in them before they come out in the market for final launch?
Oh, that is too early, because these are all conceptual thinking, which we explicitly put here and get the feedback from the people who come here. And we continue to invest in these technologies just to showcase our ability.
Also, kindly shed some light on the newer concepts which you are talking about, of course, in these, which are still under ideation stages, as you are stating, but do require certain sort of research further before they are put up for final release in the market.
Definitely. I think these again showcases the ability of TVS R&D team, that we can come up with technology projects which ultimately will get at some point of time, depending upon the development, we will try to look at how to commercialize it.
Celebrities and fast cars, they do drive well together, and today one of the most exciting moments at the Auto Expo was Sachin Tendulkar at the BMW store. I'm not saying it as just a fan. Trust me, things got crazy. Fans did want to get a picture clicked with Sachin Tendulkar and the 7 Series. Here's my interview with Sachin Tendulkar.
I was always passionate about BMW, and if you notice, my first car, a good performance car, was BMW. It wasn't a brand new car. It was a second-hand car that I bought long time ago in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't have deep pockets, and that was what I could afford. So but from there on, the passion has grown, and with exposure to more and more brands and newer models, to understand more about cars, it's only grown on me, and it's a great passion.
Could I ask you which is the favorite that you have in the BMW fleet at the moment?
They all drive differently. If you see the i8 that is right behind us,
Yeah.
I've been driving i8 as well, and without any hesitation I
Mumbai's
can
traffic.
say, yeah, but you can drive those cars wherever. I think the cars have more possibly adaptability than human beings, because we are still to adjust to that. How could we drive those cars on our roads? I think we can drive. And I think i8 would be the best handling car that I've driven. When it comes to comfort and luxury, then I think 7 Series is ultimate. And if you are traveling, touring with lots and lots of luggage and all that, X5M meets all my requirements. So they all do different things, and you want to have family with you and also performance. M5 is a wonderful car.